deal with just the very element of market cipher, and market cipher is basically a structure of different oscillators and indicators. So at the very top, these are what we call the indicators. These are just numbers, sorry, these are just signs and symbols. All these stuff that you see are just signs and symbols, and all these are just signs and symbols, and they have an influence on price. But again, these are just signs and symbols. So in normal language or normal relatable words, I prefer using the word road signs. Road signs. So basically, these are just your road signs. So trading is more or less like traveling, and when you're traveling, basically you either use a road sign or you either use your Google Maps. So at the very top, this is market cipher A, structure A of, oh yeah, of course, this is market cipher A or your structure A. And yep, so this is just a road sign algorithm, and price also reacts with these road signs. Like I'm saying, like just say if you are traveling and you see a road sign saying the sharp curve, obviously there's a sharp curve coming, so you literally navigate towards the very sharp curve because you were warned by the road signs. So this is how I call them, road signs. Road signs basically, these are just road signs. And we have different varieties of road signs. We have in market cipher A, we have different varieties of indicators. If you want me to use the word indicators, these are just indicators. Like I said, we have a yellow X, we have a green dot, you have a clusters of diamonds, and we have a black diamond, and all of these have let me say an influence on price. But again, if you are traveling and if you see a road sign, and let's say you have your Google map, between the two, which one would you prefer using? Basically, I think Google Maps. So this is what we call market cipher B. So this is your Google Maps. This is your entire Google Maps. You understand? Like, these are basically different elements of your Google map. So let me say these are just your directional algorithms. So all of these are just directional algorithms, and all of them have different functional influence or functional abilities that literally affect the very direction of price as well. So like I said, between your Google Maps and your road signs, which one would you prefer using? Well, you might prefer using both. Like me, I use both to trade. So in short, trading becomes more or less like a directional algorithm because you are trading based on direction. You trade based on direction. So the very direction of your road sign determines the direction of price. But again, if you want us to go into details, I do have a course that I'm planning. I'm still working on it. It's still in the pipeline. So this is just an intro. We have so much to go, so much to learn. There's so much stuff that I have in my course that I'm willing to release when I'm ready. And for now, I'm just trying to deal with the very basics. And market cipher to me by far is the leading or the best indicator out there without a doubt, because it works. Market cipher is always not one of the very best, I think the best, because it's easy to understand. It's hard once you it's hard when you see it for the very first time, but it's not hard. It's not really that sophisticated once you get involved. So it takes time. You have to be consistent, and you probably extract the crystal centricity. I mean, you might understand the very dynamics of market cipher once you get involved with it. So I really don't want to take much of your time. I just want to keep it simple, and this is just a video that more or less like deal with the very basics. I'm not really going into the very, I'm not really dealing with the very elements of all these oscillators or elements of these indicators. Like I said, I don't want to use jargons that most people who are new to trading might not understand what I'm saying. So I just want to use relatable words like, okay, these are these waves or your oscillators. You can also prefer them or use the word Google Maps or your directional maps. And at the top here you can use what we call road signs. So this is basically road signs versus Google Maps. So how do you trade with road signs, or how do you make your journey with road signs, and how do you make your journey with Google Maps? Between the two, which one would you prefer the best? which one makes sense when you're traveling. So trading is more or less like, well, I'm traveling, but how do I navigate my way out using these signals or using these waves? So let's say this is market cipher B, which is basically your directional Google Maps, and this is market cipher A. These are your indicators. So how do you piece them together to have one of your best trades? So this is basically, like I said, it's just an overview of how market cipher works. And with my course, when I release the course, I will touch almost all the elements that will help every trader out there, whether new, old, young. I mean, if you put in the work and be consistent and don't give up, I mean, you'll see results. Market cipher works. Like I said, it works like it works. It's so easy to use. Let me put it that way. Once you understand how it works. So basically, I don't want to take much of your time, and I really want to end the video here. So have a nice time. Peace.